لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليما كثيرا. Today, inshallah, in the Back to Basics class, we want to take it back to the basics of what, inshallah, we want to have as the foundation of our Islam, foundation of our dawah, the foundation of our masjid, the foundation of our existence. We don't want to be people who don't know what they're doing in the deen. That doesn't mean that a perfect person is perfect. It's not going to make mistakes, but there's a big difference between a person who knows what he's doing, he makes a mistake, and he gets it wrong, because completeness is only for Allah, and with Allah, وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ فِي ذَلِكَ, only with Him. And as it relates to the human being, it's only with the Rasul, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's one thing to know what you're doing and making a mistake, and then there's another thing to not know what you're doing because you'll make a lot of mistakes. And that's the deen of the Yahud and the deen of the Nasara, and the other adyan, the other religions of the people, the dunya. So we want to talk about what is known in Islam as the Fiqh of the Sahaba. The Fiqh of the Sahaba of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who were a group of people who were divinely chosen by Allah Azza wa Jal to have the suhbah with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they're special. They occupy a special place in this religion. Their understanding of the religion is the understanding of the religion, the primary one. It's the primary one. And as it relates to what was taking place during their lifetime, what they understood the religion to be is what we have to understand the religion to be. What happened later on after their lifetime when it comes to fiqh and comprehension and jurisprudence, then there are some things they were not aware of. There were some things they were not exposed to. But the ulama of this religion, as the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, يَحْمِلُ هَذَا الْعِلْمِ مِنْ كُلِّ خَلَفٍ عُدُولُهُ. Every generation, every time that time passes, there will be a group of scholars who will carry the responsibility of this religion. So the companions, they're not living right now and new things come up, but there are ulama of this religion who know the knowledge of the companions. And as a result of that knowledge, they're able to make istinbat of the ahkam that may be new during this time. But what was the religion during their time? Is the religion during our time? The way they understood the religion. So we're going to talk about, inshallah, a few issues about the fiqh of the companions. May Allah Azza wa Jal be pleased with all of them. So the first point I want to repeat is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is divinely chosen. He is al-Mustafa. He was divinely chosen over everybody else. Also, as it relates to his companions, they were divinely chosen to be with him. That's why they have the special place in this religion. It's not permissible for a Muslim who's worth his weight in salt to see the permissibility of subtracting himself from them, or to see the permissibility of hating them or being against them. You can't be a Muslim if you harbor in your heart ill will towards any of the companions, an individual or all of them, or two of them, or a group of them. Because Allah Azza wa Jal is pleased with them, and they're pleased with Allah. Allah has given them a number of tazkiyat of the Quran, gave them the stamp of approval. So the second thing we want to mention is about the fiqh itself. So the word fiqh, it means, to understand something, to comprehend something. Fahm. The famous hadith of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, Man yuridillahu bihi khayra yufaqihu fid deen. If Allah wants good for a person, He gives him fiqh of his religion, comprehension. So the mafhum al-mukhalif to that is, if Allah doesn't want good for you, He leaves the person to be ignorant. He doesn't know anything about the religion. Now that doesn't mean necessarily that the person is a scholar. If Allah chose and helped and caused a person to be a scholar, inshallah, that's a dalil. Allah wanted a lot of good for him. But you don't have to be a scholar. You could be a basic person, but you have comprehension in your religion. Things that you hear that sound weird, you won't believe in everything that you hear because you have some level of understanding. Even if you never heard it before, it's so outrageous and so far-fetched that when you hear it, you'll say no. And if something presented itself, you'll know how to look it up. Some people don't know anything about their religion. They don't know their ankle bone from their elbow in the religion. So their religion is simply the sheikh said, or I heard, or asking anybody a question, whatever you say, that's what they believe is the religion. There's not fiqh in the religion. So anyone that Allah wants good for them, He will teach them and give them fiqh of the religion. So the fiqh that this hadith is talking about is the true fiqh of al-Islam, the fiqh of the Sahaba, the way they understood the deen of Allah Ta'ala. Now I want to share this with you, inshallah. It's an important line of poetry. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn al-Qayyim used to say it all the time when he used to talk about knowledge and what knowledge is and what knowledge isn't, and how you go about getting knowledge and the virtues of knowledge. One of his most famous words of wisdom when he described knowledge, and this is the fiqh that we're talking about. He said, rahimahullah ta'ala, al-ilmu qala Allahu, qala rasuluhu, qala sahabatu, laysa bit-tamwih. Mal-ilmu nasbaka lil-khilafi safahatan bayna al-rasuli wa bayna ra'yi faqih. You'll find in a lot of his books, he repeat this over and over. Keep writing that. Every time the munasabah comes up, he'll write that. The meaning of that, he said, true knowledge. Knowledge in this deen. Knowledge is what Allah said, what his messenger said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what the companion said. And it is not tamwih. Tamwih is like things that are ambiguous, things that are not clear, like philosophical kalam, just pulling rabbits out of the hat and just believing anything, saying anything. Some of the things we see today, like the ruqya that some people make where the room is filled with hundreds of people and the man has dhikr bees or whatever, and he goes, and it echoes, and the people start collectively falling out. And that's a sign that they are getting the ruqya shar'iyah. That's not knowledge in the religion. And things similar to that. Eating dirt from the graves, dirt and the dirt from Karbala, and all of this madness that people say, what they do. He went on to mention, he said, knowledge is not the stupidity, the safaha, where you're just arguing and you're saying the statements of an opinion of a jurist, a scholar, a person, and you're pushing the kalam of Rasulullah away. That's not knowledge. And this is what we have, unfortunately, in our ummah today. Palestine right now, it's a big drama, it's a big fitna in Palestine. It's the world that we live in. What's the position of the Muslim? The knowledge and the fiqh of what the companions were upon is what is our goal and our objective. We have to have that to be able to make the tasawwur and to get opinions about what to say and what not to say, how to feel and not how to feel. So if we just go by criticizing those people and not having any connection to them, that's a problem. Companions were not like that. Or if a person's extremely emotional and based upon his emotions, he says things. He'll say things, much of which is not even fair. Not even fair. I saw a revert brother in the month of Ramadan. He went to a masjid. It was a big, massive masjid. And when he went to go in, some man who had been a Muslim, he's a revert, African American, some man who was there, he said, you can't come in here. There's a program for the women. He said, hey, I'm coming here for Ramadan. The women, let them do what they want to do, wherever they want to do it. This is a big, big masjid. I'm just going to go and pray. It's Ramadan. The guy kept saying, no, you can't go in here. And he threatened that guy and said, I'm going to lay you out. If you don't let me come in here, I'm going to lay you out. Now, on one hand, what he was saying made some sense about Hey, that's a big masjid there. It's a big masjid. Whatever those women are doing, let them do the thing and let the brother go and do his thing and come back, and that's it. But when he got upset from what that guy was doing and he threatened that he was going to knock him out, he said, this is not the fiqh of al-Islam, because his niyat is, you're going to go and pray in that masjid. If they stop you from praying in that masjid, just give that man some advice and go away. Plus, you don't know that man's situation. He could have just been the messenger. He has nothing to do with that decision. The shura said to him, you stand here, don't let anybody know. He doesn't know what happened previously. Maybe that masjid is in a place where the Muslims don't really visit the masjid a lot, and it was a fitna. So now they said, only this program. You never know. The point is, you can't just deal with it anyway. It's the fiqh of the companions that helped us to know how to deal in all of these situations that present themselves. The fiqh of the companions. That's the fiqh. Not the fiqh of the madhab, meaning when you ask for the proof, you say, the sheikh said, the madhab said. That's not fiqh. The fiqh of the companions is the proof, and the proof being connected to the reality of the situation. So I just want to give you a few examples of that. And they are many, but these are 3, 4, 5 of the main ones that I hope you always remember, because they're so crystal clear that in them is a lesson for us. Follow these things. Like Abdullah ibn Mas'ud used to say, follow the companions and don't innovate anything in a religion. Follow what they did and don't introduce anything, because what they did is enough for you. Ittabi'u wa la tabtadi'u. Laqad kufitum. Follow them. Don't bring up anything new. Anything new. You want to do something special for the Eid? Because it happens. People want to do an Eid in which in the Eid, everybody, the women included, men, women, the Shabbat, they're going to wear expensive new sneakers. And that's the theme of the Eid. Is that permissible? Is that not permissible? First thing we have to ask is, what would the companions have done with this situation like that? Is it from the religion? Is it from the urf of the people? What is it? Is it beautifying yourself on the day of the Eid? But we can't be pulling things out of the sky and just saying, well, the Christians do it, so we do it. Well, this is what the young people want to do, so we do it. Always the question has to be, how did the companions understand the issue? If the issue was there during their time, then we say that we do what they do. If it wasn't done during their time, we see if there's some dalil that you can pull from that time. The fiqh of the companions. Abdullah ibn Abbas, and may Allah be pleased with him, when he traveled, or he traveled to some people, this is one of the most famous incidents that we should remember this. He traveled to some people and he was sitting there, giving them a number of fatwa, made himself available for their questions. And then the discussion came to the important topic of the rukn of al-Islam, which is al-Hajj. Tremendous ibadah from the ibadat of al-Islam. Anybody who performs Hajj correctly, like the companions, will come back like the day his mother gave birth to him. Look at the Muslims making Umrah today. Look at the Muslims making Hajj today. I think many of us are still feeling the effects and the impact of fasting Ramadan. You still have that lower fatigue and time. That's nothing compared to Hajj. When you perform Hajj, you come back and you're dead. And that's even if you don't get any cold. Just all of the walking and all of the sun on your head. So when you go there, or even for Umrah in Ramadan, did you people see the Kaaba Ramadan this year? Did you see the Kaaba? It was packed out. If you were making tawaf at that time, that tawaf would take you 2 hours, 2.5 hours to walk around that thing 7 times, the Kaaba, the Bayt. Al-Muhim. Some people, when they get to Umrah, they want to perform multiple Umrahs for their father who they love, for their mother who they love, for the grandmother who they love, for the wife's father who he loves, and on and on and on. One umrah is going to kill you. It's going to make you al-ihlak. You're going to be tired. Another umrah on top of that is going to take away from you being able to get the optimum effect of praying in that masjid. Praying the 5 prayers, also praying the janazat, the janaiz that are there. It's gonna, because you're going to be too beat up, too tired. So every year, whenever you go there, people ask a question. I want to make multiple umrahs. I want to go after making umrah to a masjid called Masjid of Aisha, at Tan'een. I'm going to go there, put my ihram on, and come back. The question is, did the companions ever do that? Did they ever do something like that? And we always have to ask that question. The zakatul fitr, do we give it in foodstuffs? Do we give it in money? What did the companions do? They never gave it in money. Ever did they ever give it in money. Ever. Never. So we got a mabda. We got a place from where we're starting. But then when you look at the issue, you'll find out the scholars who love those companions and who understand this religion, they made istinbat from issues. So that's the point. The fiqh of the companions is the way in this religion. They said to Abdullah ibn Abbas, which Hajj is the best Hajj? Because there are 3 Hajjs that you can make, making it easy for people. You can make the Hajj where you do Umrah right now in Shawwal. Al-Hajj Ashhurul Ma'lumat. You can go to Mecca right now and perform Umrah and come back. And you started your Hajj this month, next month, and then on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, on the 8th, you go there and you're in Mina. So it's called tamattu'. You do the umrah, you take it off. Then you do the one, al-iqran. You do the umrah, you keep that stuff off, but it's similar to a tamattu'. Then it's the easiest one. It's for the one who is not going to, when he get there, he doesn't make tawaf al-qudum. He doesn't do that. Sa'i, doesn't do it. He goes straight to Mina on the 8th, al-ifrad by itself. That's it, Hajj by itself. They asked Abdullah ibn Abbas, which of the 3 Hajjs is the best type? He said, the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best Hajj is a tamattu', where you spill blood, you slaughter, and you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik a lot. The people say, but Abu Bakr and Umar, afrada. Abu Bakr and Umar, they did it fraud. As if they're saying, why are you saying that one? Because Abu Bakr and Umar, they did this one. Abdullah ibn Abbas became very upset. He said, you ask me a question, and I tell you Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this, and you tell me Abu Bakr and Umar? He got up, he started cleaning himself, his clothes off. He said, Yushiku and tunazzalu alaykum al-hijaratu min as-sama'. The rocks are going to come down soon and going to destroy you people. And I'm getting out of here before that happens. And he left. That's the fiqh of the companions. That's the fiqh of the companions. قال الله قال رسوله قال الصحابة ليس بتمويه. The person to come and say, oh, but Abu Bakr is, but Umar, and they give all of the virtues of Abu Bakr and Umar. And this is a very important incident because who is it after Abu Bakr and Umar? Is Al-Imam Abu Hanifa on the level of Abu Bakr and Umar? Al-Imam Malik, Al-Imam Shafi, Ishaq ibn Rahuya, Al-Imam Al-Bukhari, Al-Imam Malik. They're not, no one you can bring now is like Abu Bakr and Umar. That's the epitome of who you can mention after Rasulullah. So this hadith is saying, this incident is saying, don't blindly follow that sheikh, this madhab, this thing. Don't put anybody's statement over the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's what the companions were upon. And there are many examples of that. When the fitna happened with some of the companions, because this is important, the companions are not ma'asumun. Abu Bakr is not ma'soom. Umar is not ma'soom. The companions collectively are ma'soom, infallible, mistakeless. But you'll have a companion over here who may drink khamr, radiallahu anhu. You have a companion over here who breaks his fast in the month of Ramadan and has a relationship with his wife. May Allah be pleased with him. You may have a companion over here who killed someone unjustly. May Allah be pleased with all of them. But Allah is pleased with them and they're pleased with Allah. So we follow the companions in the good, Those people who follow them in al-ihsan. The sabiqun al-awwalun, those people, the companions, and those who follow them with ihsan. We follow them in goodness, not in the wrong thing. But anyway, during the fitna that transpired between the companions after the death of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was almost some civil war going on between Ali ibn Abi Talib and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Both of them are virtuous, and Ali ibn Abi Talib is more virtuous, no doubt about that. But nonetheless, some of the other companions was on his side. Aisha was on his side. On the side of Muawiyah, there were some serious companions, and they were against the side of Muawiyah. And on the side of Ali were other companions. But the majority of the companions stayed out of it. The majority of them stayed out of it. A few over here, but the body of the companions stayed out of it. So someone asked Abdullah ibn Abbas again, Abdullah ibn Abbas, which of the two groups are you with? Which Shia are you with? Are you with the group of Ali, the Amir al-Mu'mineen, or are you with the group of Muawiyah? Because if you sit and you talked about the virtues of Ali, there are a lot in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Muawiyah as well. So both sides, if you just talked about their personalities, Abdullah ibn Abbas said, I'm with the book of Allah. I'm not with Ali's group, and I'm not with Muawiyah's group. And he never got involved like the rest of the companions. That's part of how we have to deal with the fitna. When there's a fitna, community fitna, a fitna on the level like Gaza, the companions and the way they dealt with that thing is the way we have to look at it. And what's the fiqh of the companions? What is the fiqh of the companion? Especially during the fiqh of during times of fitna. The fiqh of the companions during the time of the fitna is to raise the major companions up and the elders of that community, and to make an effort to keep the youngsters quiet. Not to mention people of innovation, not to mention that. And that's why some of those companions, when the Khalifa Umar, when Abdullah ibn Abbas was sitting in his majlis, and some of the older companions, they made inkar and said, why is he here? He shouldn't be here, because that's the fiqh of the companions. This is the majlis of older people. Why is this young man here? 19 years old, 19, 20, 21 years old. Why is he here? Umar had his understanding. And his understanding was, this one right here knows the ta'wil and the tafsir of the Quran better than everybody here. They said that Abu Bakr and Umar died and they didn't memorize the Quran. Abu Bakr and Umar died and they didn't memorize the Quran. Abdullah ibn Abbas not only memorized that Quran, but Rasulullah made a special dua that Allah Ta'ala teaches them the ta'wil. So he asked him the question about إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. But the point is, the elder people said, what is he doing here? And that's because of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-barakatu ma'a akabirikum. The blessings with our and our community is with the elders, especially during the time of fitna. If you look at that social media and you read what some of these shabab are saying and how they write, some of these youngsters, it's so easy to make takfir on their tongues, their fingertips, to make tabdi', to throw people out of al-Islam just because you don't agree with them and they have no knowledge, They have no knowledge about how to make takfir or tabdir. What is needed for a person to do that? Everybody who falls into an action of kufr doesn't become a kafir. Everyone who falls into an action of bid'ah doesn't become a mubtadi'. You have to make those rulings with knowledge. And that comes with experience. And that also comes with getting knowledge. So the youngster, he doesn't have a lot of knowledge and he doesn't have experience. And both of those are required. And that's why those companions from their fiqh was in their majlis like this, in fitna and decisions, they were the ones who made those decisions. Today, in our way of life, everybody feels there's this liberal thing where you have to be seen and you have to be heard, especially from the younger generation. And there's some truth to that. They should be heard when it comes to getting married. The bikr, who's usually young, to step, then you ask her, you want to get married or not? You get her, she's concerned to her. You can ask her about issues like that, but not these issues that are big issues, not in the community. That's not what those companions were upon. And these are the messages that we have to teach the Muslims, because this is not the understanding of the Muslims today, especially our youngsters, our community. We don't look at it like that. The way the community of Muslims look in almost every given masjid is, everybody has something to say. Everyone has a right to cast a vote. Everybody's opinion should count. And that's not true. That's not true. That's not the fiqh, the companions, democracy like that. Not like that. Not the way they were. One of those examples is what is mentioned in the Sahih of Imam Muslim. And this is also really important when it comes to knowledge and how to get knowledge. The minhaj of getting knowledge in the religion. There was a tabi'i, his kunya was Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami. And he was a tabi'i who used to teach the people the Quran during the time of the companions. And before I forget, the blessings are with your elders doesn't mean that a youngster, you can't get benefit from him, like what happened with Abdullah ibn Abbas. The great scholar Abdullah ibn Mubarak, he said, like the hadith said, one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah is people who try to get knowledge from the asaghir. Inna min ashrat as-sa'a an yultamas al-ilmu 'inda al-asaghir. One of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, young people will be the ones who people go to get knowledge from and ask them questions. Abdullah ibn Mubarak, he said, the young person here is the person of innovation. Person of innovation could be the young person. And also the shad, like the khawarij, sufaha al-ahlam, hudatha, asnam. They're young and they're saying crazy stuff. So they always made sure that the older people were the ones who were leading the community and not the younger people. The brand spanking new revert. What does he know about Islam? What does he know? But we have to have the person, the best representation of the shura from any community should be the most experienced, older, knowledgeable ones from amongst them. Some people will argue, no, we have to have a Pakistani on there, we have to have a Moroccan on there, we have to have this, we have to have that. You don't have to have that. You have to have the most experienced, knowledgeable people on the shura, because they are going to know how to have their finger on the pulse of the whole community. There is benefit from having representation from every group of people from the masjid. There's benefit from that. But there's more benefit. You get someone, we have one Chinese, we got 10 Chinese people in the community, one Chinese person, he doesn't speak English, for an example. He sits on the shura just to represent Chinese people. What's the benefit of that? What's the benefit? There's some benefit that he knows what his people need, knows them better than everybody else. But the real benefit comes with people who are mature and people who have knowledge. They know what they're doing. You say that in some masjids, people get very upset with you. They feel that that's racism and nepotism And they feel like that they can't get their heads around. That's what the companions did. Anyway, back to this issue. Abu Abdurrahman As-Sulami, he said, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to memorize 10 ayat of the Quran. And after memorizing those 10 only, they wouldn't go on to the next 10 until they understood the meaning of those 10 until they practiced them. After that, they go to the next 10. That's the fiqh of the companions. That's the best way. They memorized 10 ayat, they understood them, and they practiced them. Today, is that possible? It's possible, but it's difficult. Sometimes not even realistic. If you're going to memorize the Quran, you put the child in the tahfidh of the Quran, you put him in there, and the focus on memorizing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the best way was the way of the companions, and that's not the way it's done today. But let not the young person come and say, well, this other way that's going on right now is haram. No, that's not haram. It's not haram. There's benefit in that. The Quran is going to be protected in this way as well. It's going to be protected. But the people, the level of understanding of this way and application is not going to be like it was during the time of the companions. It's not going to be the same way. So that's what they were doing. That's what they were upon. And it always has to be front and center with us. How did the companions do it? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was one of the tremendous companions. He went to a group of people. Those people said to him, we love it when you come to us, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. We love it. Why do you only come Thursday? We want you to come Friday after Jummah. We want you to come Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Come whenever it's easy for you. We're going to come. We're going to listen to you every day. Because he's teaching what the people wanted to hear. He said, I don't come out to you like that. La yamna'ni. Nothing prevents me from coming out to you every day except I don't want to make you bored. If I come every day, the nature of Bani Adam, you're going to get tired. You're going to get bored. And that's Abdullah bin Mas'ud. So I don't want to make you bored. So if you come out on Thursday on Yawm al-Khamis, you'll look forward to that. So I come out. And then he told them, وَكَانَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ يُخَوِّلُنَا. He used to, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, talk to us according to, from time to time. If something happened, he would talk. If an issue happened, he would talk. Now, does that mean it's not permissible? There's a sheikh right now. He has a lot of energy and he is high power. His name is Al-Usaymi. Al-Usaymi. He'll give these classes, Dawrat, in the summer and the wintertime, in the Prophet Masjid in Medina. After Fajr, 3-4 lessons. After Dhuhr, 3 or 4 lessons. After Asr, 3 or 4 lessons. After Maghrib, 1-2 lessons. After Isha, 1 lesson. Every day for 2 weeks. And the Shabab can't keep up with him. And he's much older than that. The man is an ayah from the ayat of Allah. Do we come and say that's an innovation? The young people will say that. We're not going to say that. Because the Prophet one time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, got on his masjid, on his minbar after making Salat al-Fajr, and he talked to the people from that time all the way to Dhuhr time. Then he prayed Salat al-Dhuhr. Then he got back on the minbar after Dhuhr and talked to them all the way to Asr time. And then all the way, he did that all the way until Isha, all day long. The narrator of this hadith said, some of us memorized everything he said, and some of us didn't. But did he do that every single day? He didn't do that everything. It's too much on people. Even the companions, that would be a lot. He did that one day. So now if that sheikh or this masjid want to do a dawrah like that, some seminar, and it was mukathafa, people were doing a lot, We don't come and say, hey, this is an innovation. The companions didn't do it. This is where this symbol of what the companions did is important. So there are many examples, Ikhwani. I just wanted to touch upon and to draw that thing home, that idea, that concept, especially during the time of drama and fitna, and especially dealing with big things like a takfir, like this thing that's going on in Gaza. Our ummah is in a state of confusion. What's going on with those people is a tragedy. It's tragic. And we just fasted the whole month of Ramadan, and we came out of that month. And many of us, many Muslims, are desensitized to what's going on with those people right now. But then a lot of people are extremely emotional about it. And those emotions cause people to say things that are astray. It's too much. So two wrongs don't make a right. That brother wanted to go inside of that masjid, and that other man tried to stop him. I can't even say it's wrong. I don't know what happened. But he had a point. He says, let me go and pray. You're going to get your reward based upon your niyyah. When you get upset and you start saying, I'm going to lay you out, I'm going to knock you out, now you're pushing that thing back with what is not right. And you don't know what happened. What's the story behind him being there? What's going on? Similar to that with these situations that we're dealing with. Okay, we're going to stop here. You brothers have any questions concerning this? We have some more, inshallah. We'll deal with it next week, bi'idhnillah. Any questions, brothers, concerning what we said just now? Is there anybody here who feels like ants are crawling on you? Right, you got the ants? Subhanakallahumma. We got to get this place fumigated, the office. Okay? Where's Siyam at?